Hi everyone, welcome back to another Fresh Look Friday. I'm Miss Lora, and today I have some middle grade science fiction for you. Lots of different things to cover, and we're just gonna jump right in. So I'm gonna start with this one. It's the oldest one I have to share with you today, but it is definitely one of my favorites. It's Fuzzy Mud by Louis Sachar. I listened to this and it was fabulous. I listened to it when it came out. In fact, I think it was a Cottle and a Blue Stem nominee in 2018. So it's definitely a popular one. Tamaya and Marshall are our main characters here, and they are best friends. They walk to and from to school together every day. And there is a bully, Chad. Chad is the bully, and he challenges Marshall to a fight. So to avoid this fight, Marshall decides to walk home through the woods. These dark woods that they normally walk around, no one goes in the woods, but he's going to go through them to avoid this fight. And Tamaya goes with him. The problem is they get lost. And in this process, they also realize they're being followed by Chad. And there's this incident then that happens in the woods. There's the best way to describe it, fuzzy mud. This mud that just looks like it's got this coating of something on it, and Chad falls in and he gets some on him. Well, the next day at school, Chad is not at school. And they start to get a little worried, like, what is going on here? Why is he not there? Was something in that mud? Was it not just normal mud? Well, some time passes and now the authorities are starting to get involved. The US Senate is starting to get involved. This mud is not ordinary mud. So it's a really good mystery and sci-fi combined, Fuzzy Mud. All right, next, Weird Kid. What I really liked about this book is that it was super fast. Short chapters, you zoomed right through it, and I really enjoyed it. It was a very unique story. Weird Kid is the story of Jake. So Jake is not a kid. He is an alien, and he has known this, but he looks and acts and feels and breathes and everything like a human, and that's his life, right? But his parents found him as a slimy little blob that came down from space, they think, and the blob like transformed into a human baby, and his parents have been raising him that way ever since. And he really wants to go to school, and he has been going to school, and he gets to start middle school, and he wants to hang out with his friends and just be a normal kid, not the weird kid. But there's this like weird hum that he hears every once in a while. And this has happened throughout his life, but it hasn't been that big of a deal. And then when this hum happens, he transforms. Weird things happen to him. He turns into he gets like a bird beak, or he gets multiple thumbs and he has like a little thumb tree going on, like weird things that don't happen to humans. And this hum like really increases that. And he starts transforming and doing weird things. And his parents don't want people to find out about him because they don't want him to be taken away. And he doesn't want to be taken away and experimented on. So he's really trying to keep it inside. And then his friend from school, Agnes, figures it out. She sees him transform, and now he has the secret he gets to share with his friend. But the hum is getting worse and louder and not going away. What is going on? Weird Kid. And then I have This Town Is Not All Right. So this is definitely a scarier one. It's probably the scariest one of all of them. So it's definitely sci-fi, but there is some scariness involved. Beacon and Everly are twins. They have lost their brother. He passed away. And so his dad decided to move the family to a very, very small town called Driftwood Harbor. And the kids are just like, whatever, this is going to be a small, boring town to live in. It's on the coast, so maybe there's going to be some good lobster we can eat, but it's not going to be exciting. Turns out they were wrong. The kids in this town are way too perfect. Everything is about them is perfect. They're super well behaved. They're very well dressed. They're just perfect. Too much perfect, something is not quite right. And then Beacon starts losing periods of time. He'll wake up and not remember what has happened. And then one night he sees one of these perfect kids in town, Jane. He really thinks just disappear into the water, into the waves. No one could have survived that. And then she was at school the next day. What is going on? And you can kind of see from the cover here, there's something glowing, weird happening in the water. So these perfect kids are coming from somewhere, right? Or what's making them perfect? Because this town is not all right. And there's a sequel to this one too. Okay, so what would science fiction be without some space books, right? So my next two are based in space. They're really cool. So this first one, Last Gate of the Emperor, all in space. There's robots. There's a whole bunch of different monsters. It's very cool and way out there. Yared is our main character. He's being raised by his uncle. He doesn't know who his parents are. All of his memories are with Monty, his uncle. He likes to skip school a lot to participate in this augmented reality game. It really made me think of Big Hero 6 and the bot fights. Like, he skips school so he can go play basically a video game, but in space. And he has a pet. You can kind of see here, it's a lioness robot. And he's had this lioness his whole life. He doesn't have a memory without her, and she plays a very critical role in this story. So it's really cool to see all the robots and the space and the flying. And one day he skips school, Yared skips school as he does to play this game. And he usually plays under a fake name so that people don't know who he is, so he doesn't get in trouble. But this time he was forced to play under his real name, and now all of a sudden everything goes wrong. The game shuts down. The police are after him. These guards are after him. Spaceships. He's running for his life. There's these giant monsters destroying anything and everything to get to him. And then he discovers that Monty is not his uncle at all. And so now he has no idea who he is. People have been lying to him. He's on the run for his life through space. It's a grand adventure with lots of cool world building. I definitely recommend Last Gate of the Emperor. And my last one is called Flood City. This is a little bit dystopian, which is why I really, really like it. It takes place way in the future when Earth is completely covered in water. There's no, water everywhere. The only thing that is above water is Flood City, which from what I can understand is just basically a bunch of different buildings that are scrunched together. It's like concrete and everything and steel. It's the only place you can kind of see it in the cover, like all these little skyscrapers here. That's all that's left that's habitable on Earth. Max grew up in Flood City, was born in Flood City. He knows nothing but Flood City. And Flood City is run by these aliens called the Star Guard. They're these big blue aliens, and they keep it all under control. And then there's the chemical barons that are in these spaceships that fly around space and hover. They really want Earth for their own. And Max is a chemical baron. And there's an attack very early in the book. The chemical barons are attacking Flood City because they want it back. Max ends up on the ground in Flood City, alone, desperate, severely injured, and Max finds him. So Max and Otto is the chemical baron. So we have the chemical baron, Otto, and Max, who's lived on Flood City. Get it together, Lora. So the two of them become friends, and they discover a dark, sinister plot by the chemical barons to use a nuclear weapon to destroy Flood City, because if they can't have Earth, no one can have Earth. So they have to stop it. And with spaceships and jetpacks, they fly around and try and stop the Earth being destroyed by the chemical barons and the Star Guards fighting. And Earth is just in the crosshairs. What do you do? Flood City. Well, I hope some of these intrigued you today. They're all available for checkout, and every single one of them is available on one of our digital platforms of Libby, Access 360, or Hoopla, all free with your library card, ebooks, and audiobooks. So definitely check those out, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.